welcome to Showcase, TRT World's daily arts and culture programme, coming to you this week from the 53rd International Antalya Film Festival. We have an exclusive interview and highlights from the festival coming up later on, as well as arts and culture news from around the globe. Make sure you get comfortable and let's begin. The Rhythms of Africa have come to Turkey as the continent's biggest circus group performs in Antalya. Miranda Ati had a front row seat.
Expo 2016 Antalya is an international fair devoted to gardens. But it has also brought concerts, exhibits and other cultural events to the Turkish Riviera. Since it opened in April, it's welcomed acts from all over the world. And tonight, as dusk falls, the city gets ready for a taste of Africa.
It began as an underground acrobatics school in Tanzania more than a decade ago, and now it's the most successful circus troupe in Africa. We're at the rehearsals of the all-singing, all-dancing Mother Africa.
It's half an hour before the show, and dancers limber up. Acrobats practice their juggling skills. The members of the troupe come from 8 countries, including Kenya, South Africa, Ethiopia and Zimbabwe. All have been trained at the troupe's headquarters in Tanzania. Siletemba Magonya is the group's lead female vocalist.
It's an African circus, so we're bringing out our specialties in terms of our culture, in terms of our music and the special talent in terms of acrobatic that we have, but it's all mixed and fused together in the African way with our African music and our bright, colorful African costumes. So it's quite a happy, colorful, joyous celebration.
Dance captain Clive Madlala has been with the group since 2010.
Now we've become like one family because we've been working together for a very, very, very long time. So we kind of like brothers and sisters now, you know. When we first came, it was confusing because the other one doesn't speak English, the other one speaks their language. And slowly we came together and started understanding each other. Yes, and through our craft, of course, through our craft, we bring everything together like Mother Africa.
Mother Africa's time at the Expo is drawing to a close this week. But the group is focused on the future. Its next appearance is somewhere rather special.
We are going back again. Popular demand, Broadway, hello. So we're really excited about it. We're so looking forward to be back there. And this time around, we're going with a different show, but probably same thing, but a different show. So we really are so looking forward. We always look forward to traveling places. For us, it's paid holiday because we get to travel, we get all the benefits, and we're so looking forward to meet people like we're meeting them now at Expo.
Viva! Africa! My home!
As night falls, the show begins. I asked Madlala what the troupe had in store.
Wow, we promise you the zest of life, powerful energy from Africa, and big smiles, yes, and happiness.
It's a circus, a concert, and a dance performance all in one. But even more than that, Mother Africa's shows are a journey into the heart of Africa. The group will begin its run in New York in November. Miranda Ati, TRT World, Antalya.
We all love love stories, but the tale of the Lovings has more to it than just romance. They were an American couple who fought to legalize interracial marriage in the 60s. We now get to see their touching story in a movie that has been a favorite at film festivals.
I'm gonna build you a house. Right here. Our house.
A love story that made history.
I want to take Mildred up to DC and get married. You sure about that?
Loving is a movie about Richard and Mildred Loving, who fought in the courts to allow mixed-race couples to marry across the United States.
Husband and wife.
The film had its Los Angeles premiere this week with its stars Joel Edgerton and Ruth Negga.
I think a lot of people have come out of this film and they've gone, wow, I feel like I've been very complacent. And they're and they're thinking about things and they're entertaining things that they wouldn't have beforehand. And I think that's the point of art, is to shift a consciousness or shift something. Even if it's just like, you've smiled for an hour and a half. And you will smile when you see this couple because they're the most beautiful couple I've ever encountered.
The film takes us through the 50s and 60s. The Lovings marry and then are sentenced to jail in Virginia, a state where interracial marriages were illegal. They flee to Washington and file suit against the court decision. Their case went to the Supreme Court, which ruled in 1967 in the couple's favor.
We may lose the small battles, but win the big war.
Loving is directed by Jeff Nichols, who's thrilled by audience reactions.
Justices of the United States?
Yeah. Tell the judge I love my wife.
The thing that I am continually floored by are the amount of people coming up to us, the amount of people posting things online that say, this is my story, this is my parents' story, and I'm the product of an interracial couple, or I'm in an interracial relationship. It's pretty extraordinary to see this outpouring of relationships to this story.
Nichols wanted to present an intensely personal story at a time when there are deep divisions in US society.
We so quickly go to our platform thinking and think, I'm religious, I'm conservative, I'm liberal, whatever it is. I think we need to set that aside for a moment and just think about the people at the center of all these debates, and that's what Richard and Mildred represent.
I know we have some enemies, but we have some friends too.
Critics have already called Loving an Oscar contender. It opens in the United States on November the 4th.
I can take care of you.
I know that.
I can take care of you.
And now on Showcase I have Andy McDowell with me. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello.
How has your experience been at the 53rd International Antalya Film Festival as a jury and in the town itself?
It's been a beautiful experience, very romantic, with a lot of delicious food and lovely dinners and in exotic locations. So it's been pretty low key as far, like when I go to Cannes, I'm always there for L'Oreal, so they're always doing my hair and makeup. But this time I'm not worrying about my hair or my makeup. And not really even dressing up. I've just been kind of hanging out.
Regardless.
Yeah, well, thank
effortlessly.
you. So a very nice group of people. And Hugh Hudson, which is the head of the jury I worked with on Greystoke, so it's great to be with him after all these years and discussing films. We have some really intelligent people that have to talk about films with, talk about movies, so that's been fantastic. And
great.
The people here are just lovely.
Yep. So what are your impressions of the movies you've watched so far? I know you can't talk about specifics just yet.
It's
because
difficult to answer that question because I feel a responsibility not to discuss them. But it's different. I'm glad they're not any American movies because I see them all the time. So it is nice whenever you go to film festivals. You have the opportunity to see more foreign films when you travel, and it gives you a different perspective of the world. It opens up your eyes to other issues and creative thought, other artists and artistic thoughts. And the one thing I've always found reassuring is in festivals, all artists come together from all countries, and it breaks down all those boundaries. And we all get along, and we all like each other, and if the rest of the world could just be like that, we could solve all the problems.
Definitely. I wish. Well, you've had such a great career spanning so many years. What's been your favorite character or characters to play?
I like complex characters. There's a few things that have drawn me in. I like I like uplifting movies because I think the world can be really depressing, and I like to go spend some time on something that's going to lift me up. So I've done romantic comedies. I've been drawn to romantic comedies. I love doing comedy myself, but I also like doing more complex characters. My favorite is to do a dark comedy, so there's a balance, like Sex, Lies, and Videotape, for instance. It has drama, but yet it has comedy both. It's comedic only because people are funny. And I just did this other movie that's coming out called Love After Love, and I had the same feeling. There's humor, but the humor is in the fact that you're human.
Right.
So.
Well, you just said you like doing uplifting movies as well.
I do.
You were recently in Cedar Cove, which is a TV series.
Yes.
And in stark contrast to most things we watch and most TV series, it's actually so almost therapeutic to watch.
Yes.
It's very upbeat.
Yeah.
What was your experience on the shoots?
Hallmark make all the whole channel of Hallmark is a safe environment for the family, and they're just, it's interesting because I was going to ask some of the other people, my contemporaries that I'm here with, to ask them how they feel about that, because it always seems to me that art usually rewards the more dark films, and they quite often don't reward the ones
I've always thought that too.
Yeah, they do. So I think a lot of times it's hard to do something super light like that because you don't think people are going to take you serious. But at the same time, it's rewarding because there are a lot of people out there that want to have something that feels hopeful and that is safe to watch with family. So. Yeah.
Well, you are actually currently working on another film. What can you tell us about it?
Well, I did the one called Love After Love that I told you about. That's that's coming out, and the director had won a short award at Sundance. So it's with Chris O'Dowd and a really nice cast. So I'm hoping. I feel really good about the work in that one. So I'm hoping. And then I had a smaller role in Granite Mountain, which is going to be a huge blockbuster. Right. Which is about the firefighters that died in Prescott. And then I'm getting ready to start on another one. So
busy.
Staying busy.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us on Showcase.
I appreciate it.
Out. Tom Cruise's action-packed thriller Jack Reacher Never Go Back just had its premiere in London. Its star took some blows to make it, but it's expected to clean up at the box office when it debuts this weekend.
How much does Reacher know?
How's it going? I don't like being followed.
Tom Cruise has a reputation in Hollywood for going full out.
Your arm off, beat you to death with it.
He starred in a string of action movies and is known for doing his own stunts.
Start running, because I'm going to start hunting.
He runs, he jumps, he fights. Even though he's now 54, he insisted on doing it again for his latest film, Jack Reacher Never Go Back.
It's a haircut. All you guys go to the same barber?
When you're doing fist fights and the kind of fighting this is, even though we're very skilled stunt fighters, we train very hard for these sequences, you're gonna take some hits. It's just the way it is. You're gonna be limping for a few days after each one.
The movie premiered on Thursday in London as it began its worldwide release. Fans were excited to get a glimpse of the Hollywood actor. Cruise reprises his role from the 2012 film Jack Reacher. He plays a former US military officer turned fugitive on a mission to uncover a conspiracy that has seen his colleague, Major Susan Turner, accused of espionage. The director found Cruise still in form.
So he hasn't mellowed with age?
No, I think mellow is not the word I would use.
In the sequel, Reacher is accused of murder and must clear his name.
I just think they're just dirt under your fingernail kind of, suspense and classic action, and they're just, he's got such a unique wit, Reacher. I think, and we make them in that kind of spirit, and they're a heck of a lot of fun to make too.
Colby Smulders, who plays Turner, agrees with her co-star.
Me and Tom, we sort of spent the film running over and over and over again, but it was a really good time.
It looks like she and crews taking their lumps will have another payoff. The film tracking website boxofficemojo.com is forecasting Never Go Back will top the North American box office on its first weekend in theatres.
You know you're a dead man. One of us is. That's a certainty.
What was life like in the ancient city of Pompeii? A group of researchers are recreating it with 3D technology. They have built a digital house the way it was before Pompeii was buried by a volcanic eruption nearly 2,000 years ago.
Films, television shows and books have told stories about Pompeii for decades. It's no wonder a trip to the ancient city makes many visitors imagine what it looked like before it was buried in an eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Now, researchers have created a 3D model of one of its opulent houses to bring Pompeii back to life. The Swedish Pompeii project began the slow process in 2000.
We started off with doing digital photographs of all walls in this house, a very big work. And then in recent years we started laser scanning. Laser scanning is much quicker work too, but it doesn't give us the colors of the wall, so we have combined the two things.
The house they chose to recreate was a large one, owned by a former slave, Cachilias Lucundu, who became a free man and built up a fortune.
It's generally called a banker, but auctioneer perhaps would be more more accurate. He was, a person living, well, you could say he's part of the, not the topmost social strata of Pompeian society, but close to it. And he was a freedman, we know that from his name.
The 3D model of his house is not just fascinating, it's also helpful for research.
As archaeologists, we work in 3D. So when we are in the field, when we excavate, when we look at a monument, we are actually embodied in the monument itself, for real. So we think in 3D, and the possibility of bringing back this environment to keep going on with our interpretation is crucial.
The archaeologists chose this house because it was 200 years old when Vesuvius erupted. It allowed them to study how it, and its last owner, evolved over time. When his fortunes rose, for example, his house also grew.
Usually in Pompeii, we tend to look at the information as it was as soon as the eruption came. Now that is like frozen in time a moment. But the truth is that the house has a long story, and history as well. And this history is dynamic. And using these models give us the chance of having a much better look on the evolution of these events in time.
2.5 million visitors explore Old Pompeii every year. Now, thanks to the Swedish Pompeii project, we can do it virtually as well.
The third Istanbul Design Biennial will explore the relationship between design and human beings. It won't just be a chance to see designers' creativity in action. It's also a place for designers to meet with other artists and thinkers to reevaluate and revive their craft.
The organisers of this year's Istanbul Design Biennial wanted to redesign the very idea of design.
Our viewers will meet new ideas and perspectives with this biennial. We believe they will ask new questions about design.
Tasarıma dair yeni sorular soracaklarına inanıyorum.
Sure, more than 70 design projects will be presented at the event, but the biennial is more than just a showcase. It's a place to brainstorm. It's more like a design lab. Its 4 weeks of panels will bring together large teams of experts from artists, curators and designers to critics and philosophers. Panel discussions will range from mosaic and graphic design to human rights,
to give different groups the chance to interact with each other.
I think basically we would like to say thank you. It's super nice that everybody accepted this invitation. Even more nice that you join us here today to celebrate the possibility that design could be serious for once in this world. Maybe that's what a biennale is. It's just a social gathering of people to share ideas. And I think to share ideas in Istanbul is a very beautiful thing to do.
The biennial's curators, the American architects Beatrice Colomina and Mark Wigley, believe we are living within outmoded forms of design, and it's time to come up with new ones. They're looking to do that in 4 specific areas: how design relates to the body, the planet, life, and time. The theme of the event is Are We Human? The Design of the Species. It opens to the public this weekend at 5 venues in Istanbul. It continues through November the 20th.
American artist Nathan Sawaya proves he isn't just toying around with his latest exhibit in Spain. He assembled millions of Legos, piece by piece, to create a mythic beings from the modern era, superheroes.
Superman, Batman, the Joker, and Catwoman are among the 120 sculptures exhibited at the Art of the Brick exhibition in Madrid. What makes it special is not just that superheroes are the subject of an art exhibit, it's also because the sculptures are all made of a children's toy, Legos. American Nathan Sawaya is the artist who created them. He started using Legos in his artwork in 2002. Since then, his Lego sculptures have toured the globe and appeared in more than 75 cities. He's built a T-Rex and the Brooklyn Bridge out of Legos, but his exhibit in Madrid is all about the characters in DC Comics. It includes this 5.5 meter long Batmobile. It was built with 500,000 Lego pieces. Sawaya seems to have some superhuman qualities of his own. He's able to capture movement with Legos, for one. Then there's also his out-of-this-world patience. Visitors can see the results at the Fernan Gomez Cultural Centre until February.
And that's all we have time for on this edition of Showcase. Before we go, we'll leave you with the trailer of Logan. We'll be back soon with more from the world of arts and culture. I'm Özlem Shitan. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Logan, what did you do? Charles, the world is not the same as it was. Mutants. They're gone now.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real.
What is she?
Beneath the stain
She's like you.
Of time,
Very much like you.
the feelings disappear.
She needs our help.
You are
Someone will come along.
Someone
has come along.
I am still right here, and you could have it all. My empire of dirt, I will let you down. I will make you hurt. I will keep myself. I would find a way.
Logan, you still have time.